And welcome, everyone. A very pleasant good afternoon. A good Friday softball showcase here at Brevard College. It'll be the NATOs taking on the Mary Baldwin Fighting Squirrels. NATOs coming off of a doubleheader sweep loss at Averett nearly 2 weeks ago, March 17th. Have not been in action since then. And only games number 3 and 4 at home coming here today. Tornadoes have only played 2 home games so far throughout the entirety of this season, and they did sweep both of those games in a doubleheader against Wesleyan all the way back on February 24th. The NATOs sit at 6-11 overall heading into this one, and they're going to look to get a doubleheader win or sweep over the Fighting Squirrels here on a windy but pretty Friday afternoon here in Brevard. I am Brady Penn, bringing you all the action here. Tornado softball, my first go-around this season with the softball team, and looking forward to it. NATOs ready to get after it here in just about 15 minutes here against Mary Baldwin. NATOs and Fighting Squirrels coming up here in just a couple of moments. Back here from the Brevard College softball field, NATO's getting ready to do battle with Mary Baldwin as head coach Christy Shelton and company get ready in the Mary Baldwin dugout after bringing the lineup card over to the umpires, as well as Coach Bree Sheeran for the NATO's. We'll take a look at the tail of the tape between these two teams. We'll start with Mary Baldwin. Mary Baldwin out of Staunton, Virginia, 6-9 in total on the season, 1-1 in conference play. This is the first game of conference play for the Tornadoes, but Mary Baldwin already had a doubleheader with Methodist, which they split, so a 6-9 overall record and a 1-1 conference record here for Mary Baldwin. For the Tornadoes, 6-11 total, 2-0 at home, only 2 home games, and that was a doubleheader sweep against Wesleyan all the way back on February 24th. Last time the Tornadoes saw any action was March 17th, nearly 2 weeks ago, where they were swept in a doubleheader themselves at Averett. Tornadoes come into this game with the third highest fielding percentage in the USA South and look to do some more good work with the glove and with the bats and lead to their first conference win here against Mary Baldwin. Tornadoes and Fighting Squirrels coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks. NATO's with home game number 3 on the season. And there you have it, folks. The starting lineups for both teams, including the starting pitcher for the Tornadoes today, the junior, Abby Delp. Abby coming into this one with a 4-2 record, 8 starts. All 8 appearances for her have been of the starting variety. And Delp in the circle for the Nados today, donning the all-blue uniforms. Abby with an ERA at 3 even with 18 strikeouts in those 8 starts. And she will be facing off against Leanna Rankin, Rachel Thompson, and Kenzie Tillman to start things off for Mary Baldwin as she goes through her warm-up set here with Olivia Martinez behind the dish. The Tornado catcher calling the signs today. Be a 7-inning game. Game 1 of a doubleheader here between the Tornadoes and the Fighting Squirrels. And now the infield's going to convene in the circle, give Abby Delp their best wishes. Now we are just about ready to play ball here at the Brevard College softball field. Tornadoes and Fighting Squirrels, and it'll be Abby Delp against Leanna Rankin to start things off. The shortstop batting out of the left side for the Fighting Squirrels. Delp comes with her first offering, and an immediate swing is sent over to short. Hooper in the hole. Throw on to first, not in time, and Rankin will beat it out for an infield single to start things off. One pitch, one base runner. A nice play there. Harlow wasn't able to corral it at third. Hooper was able to come behind and get it deep in the hole, but the speed of Rankin too much on the short run to first. And the leadoff batter is aboard for the Fighting Squirrels. So here's Thompson now, the right fielder. Delp delivers. That one's upstairs for ball 1. Delp, unquestionably the most experienced pitcher on this Brevard College roster. It's now in her 3rd year of consistently starting games for the Nados as the 1-0 is squared up and bunted. Harlow comes in. She's going to have no play. A little bit of between Delp, Winkler, and Harlow on who was supposed to retrieve that. Harlow got it, and it was too late. So just like that, 2 singles for Mary Baldwin that have not even gone out of the infield. And so it'll bring up Kenzie Tillman, the designated player, with 2 on and nobody out. And Abby Delp, despite some pretty weak contact, finds herself in a sticky situation to start things off. Big hack and a miss there on the first offering to Tillman. On deck for Mary Baldwin. Right-hander Delp fires. That one low and inside. Count evened up. Nados sitting at 6 and 11. Mary Baldwin sitting at 6 and 9. This is the first conference play matchup for the Tornadoes, the 3rd for Mary Baldwin, who split last weekend against Methodist. The 1-1 set in the air on the infield. Coming underneath it is Locklear, and she'll make the grab for out number 1. So a little pop-up there to Riley Locklear will get the Tornadoes their first out here in inning number 1. And it brings Hadley May to the plate, the catcher for Mary Baldwin. Delp takes a look over at the coaching staff in the dugout. Now looks in and delivers. That one misses. A lefty to start things off, and now 3 straight righties for Delp. Top of the first, scoreless here. Runners on first and second for Mary Baldwin. That one misses high, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. Allison Crum, the center fielder, on deck for the Fighting Squirrels. Now here's Delp. Big cut and a miss there. And Delp, when she's able to find the strike zone, has induced some early whiffs. But still ahead here is May. Two-one offering. Sent foul off the hands down the right side out of play, and the count evened up at 2. Abby Delp trying to find out number 2 here in the top of the first after some early traffic on the base pass for Mary Baldwin. 2-2. Set on the ground right at Harlow. She steps on the third base back for one. Throwing a first is scooped by Winkler. A double play to get the NATOs out of trouble. A scoreless first for Abby Delp, and we head to the bottom of the frame. NATO bats coming up. Carly Queen, Mackenzie Wilborn, and Jaden Harlow, who just capped off that double play. Harlow unassisted to third, and then a throw on to first for a double play with Winkler. 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Here for the bottom of the first, NATO bats getting their first chance. It'll be Carly Queen, Mackenzie Wilborn, and then Jaden Harlow. If any of them get on, Reagan Winkler in the cleanup spot. And on the mound for Mary Baldwin is number 19, Emily McCreary. McCreary, 8 appearances for her as well. Same as Abby Delp with a 3-2 record, an ERA just over 3.6. And her first pitch gets the inside in 8 appearances. Carly chops one straight back to the circle. McCreary's got it, and a little light underhand toss to first. Gets Carly Queen for out number 1. So we'll bring up Mackenzie Wilborn. Wilborn leading the team in batting average at a .380 clip. 19 hits and 50 at-bats for her. And she waves and misses at one upstairs there. .420 slugging percentage for Wilborn as well. Only 6 RBIs, though, in that 2 spot for Coach Bree Sheeran. 0-1, another wave and a miss there, and McCreary really popping the mitt here early on. Wilborn in an 0-2 hole here. And that one is going to drill Wilborn. She will limp her way over to first. And a hit by pitch with the one away brings up Jaden Harlow with a runner on first. If my money would have been on anybody getting hit with a pitch, it would have been Carly Queen, the leadoff batter. Carly already leads the USA South with 10 hit by pitches on the season, but in that case, it's Mackenzie Wilborn, and she stands on first now with Harlow, who has already earned couple of USA South Rookie of the Week nods. Looking to do some more damage here. Sends one on the ground foul on pitch number 1. Harlow batting .367, not far behind Wilborn. 16 RBIs for her. Top 10 in the USA South in slugging, RBIs, and home runs. And the 0-1 for McCreary. Runner goes. It's through the left side. No, knocked down. The shortstop Rankin knocked it down, but there is no play. That looked for sure like it was getting through the hole, and all of a sudden Rankin came through, made a phenomenal diving play, but had no throw to be made. So just like Mary Baldwin, the Tornadoes now have first and second. Only one away with Reagan Winkler stepping into the box. Winkler misses inside. .352 batting average, .386 on base, and the 1-0. right in there for strike one. Wilborn and Harlow occupying second and first. NATO's with an early scoring opportunity with just one away here in the bottom of the first. McCreary fires the 1-1 and misses way high. 2 balls and a strike. A hitter's counting out of Winkler. Winkler, a transfer from Caldwell Community College. A sophomore here for the NATOs. 2-1. Sent to the right side. Knocked down by Thomas on to second for one. On to first, a double play. So just like Mary Baldwin, the Tornadoes get 2 on, but have it squandered by a double play. Winkler grounds into a tough one there, and we're scoreless as we head to the second here at the Brevard College softball field. Back in just a moment. Second inning here at the BC softball field. Abby Delp back to work. Started off with Allison Crum, the Mary Baldwin center fielder. Folks, just want to thank you for tuning in here to this Friday afternoon game one of a doubleheader for the Tornadoes, as that one's fouled back. Do want to apologize, dealing with some technical difficulties here on the broadcast and kind of out of our control at the moment. A windy day here in Brevard and possibly taking a toll on our internet connection down here, kind of away from everything else on the campus. So bear with us as we try to get that right. Delp comes home with the 0-1. That one's laced in the air to center field and over the head of Carly Queen. Queen's going to chase it down on the track, going for 2 now, and getting it is Crum, and it's a leadoff double. So the leadoff batter has gotten aboard in both frames for Mary Baldwin, and now Molly Thompson will come up with nobody out and a runner in scoring position.
Now batting left fielder number 1, Molly Thompson.
Delp still looking for a clean inning. Going to try and work out of this like she did in the first. Harlow comes in on the left side expecting a bunt. It's popped up in the air. Harlow has it. A pop out there on the bunt, so the runner will stay put, and a big out number 1 for Abby Delp.
Now batting second baseman number 9, Trinity Thomas.
So now here's Trinity Thomas, the Mary Baldwin second baseman, batting from the left side, second lefty we've seen in the MBU lineup. The softball team has, compared to the last couple of years, Tornadoes were headed for the longest by Michaela Morgan. Some other players, Brittany Franks, Autumn Lawless. Delp misses on that one too, 2-0. Now new faces, Reagan Winkler, Riley Locklear, Jaden Harlow, Mackenzie Wilborn kind of all leading the charge for this team as Abby gets the outside corner to make it 2-1. Two balls and a strike here in the top of the second. Delp comes home and misses low and outside, 3-1. 3-1. Delp going to have to gather herself here. There, count